discovery was slow starting. It's been like this for, well, I've had the car 20 years. It's been like this for probably about 15 of those 20 years. Tried various things over the years, and it periodically gets better and then goes downhill. So I've replaced the starter motor about 2019-ish. Within 2 or 3 years, that one wasn't very good, so I put this one on, put a better one on, the Bosch Land Rover one, reconditioned still, but put that on, and a new battery, and been through all of the leads, the earth leads, etc., making sure good connections, resoldered ends, etc., etc., to make sure I've got good circuit. Still got this very sluggish starting, new batteries along the way, stuff like that. Anyway, decided, bugger it, I'm going to put one of these high torque starter motors on. And because these are a 2.2 kilowatt, and so I bought a 3.1 kilowatt. Got the starter motor, took this one off, checked pinions, gear on them is 9 teeth. 9 teeth on the replacement, put it back, put the new one on, and it's not engaging properly, or it's making a hell of a noise when it engages and doesn't disengage properly, so it's coming off. That's what I'm doing now. The company who've dealt with are absolutely excellent. They said they'll put me a replacement one in the post and just box this one up and send it back. I couldn't ask for any more. I'm just not sure that this pinion on this high torque one is the correct pinion, but they assure me that it should be a direct replacement. So yeah, I'm now going to take the start motor off again, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but could be worse. So removing the starter motor, 300 TDI, first part airbox off, and the next thing is the airflow meter. Right, this just should come out the front of here, and then the next part is, what do I do next? The rest of the inlet onto the turbo. Right, you can actually see the starter motor now down there. What I also do though is take this other intercooler pipe off here. It just means I can get my arm in a lot easier. So that's the next job. Yeah, loosen the power steering reservoir. It just gives me access to that Jubilee clip down there. So that Jubilee clip's loosened. Sure I don't lose it. So that's off there. No, in actual fact, yeah, I might as well pull it off. I was going to say I don't really need to take it out. You know what? It doesn't take a lot to take it out. I could just leave it laid down there, couldn't I? Out the way. Now I've got the 3 awkward bolts to get. The easiest one is that bottom one with the earth strap on. This one, good access. This side, but it's got a nut on the back of it, so you've got to jam a spanner in the back of there, which is a chew on to get in, and I can't remember the size, but all 3 bolts are different sizes, and then the obviously you've got the feed to come off the solenoid and the little pigtail, and then the other nut is there, which you won't be able to see on the video, which is a joy to get. So this is the first one to come out, top one. Second most difficult, I would say. So 13mm head, 15mm nut. Right, you get the nut off the stud. The only stud that's in there would have been helpful, Land Rover, if you'd put 3 studs in, but oh no. The stud off the back, you have to get this in, so you have to put it in one part, the longer part. Then you can join the 2 extensions together, then you can get a bar on it to crack it away. And I picked up the wrong extension, so that was too long. It's the bit shorter one I needed. Not sure how well this will show up on the video, but can you see in there You can just see the extension bar onto that top nut there, and that comes all the way along down to there. I've got a bar in down there. Try and get the phone in. And to crack it away. It's just all very awkward access, but at least all my threads are greased, etc., so it'll come off okay, hopefully. Okay, the nut is off now. I'll get the fingers out the way I can, but not much room in here. But can you see there? You can see the end of the extension and the nut in the socket. And what makes getting that off that quite long thread so much easier is that little electric ratchet made by Vessel. It ain't got a lot of torque, but like in that situation, just so much easier to spin the nut off. Very good. Right, managed to lift it out, no problem. Get my camera in there. Unfortunately, there doesn't look to be any damage to my ring gear off this dodgy starter. And I say dodgy starter because I'm chuffed to bits. Because I think I can see what the problem is. The pinion doesn't look to be seated properly. Should be further back. And when you actually see it, it's got a bit of a dent on there, a bit of damage. And if you compare that, well, I haven't done this yet. If I go compare that to the one that came off. From Family Tribulations, you may remember was originally, let's put the light on. And they didn't know what to do with Steve Garno's in Shropshire. And there's the problem. The pinion in that sits right back, and in that one it's proud. So this is not releasing properly. The pinion's not releasing from the ring gear and making the horrendous noise. So hopefully the replacement will fit and it'll be tickety-boo. Oh, I'm pleased with that. We just come back to this starter motor problem. Although I found the problem, it isn't exactly as I've first described, because I believe this pinion is returning back all the way. The problem is in the actual housing. So if I've got that rule just stuck with the magnet, why did I touch it? Okay, on the end of there, and the back space from the casting to there it's approximately 24mm. So it sticks in towards the flywheel 24mm. If I put that on the one that came off, that, make sure I get the right face here, there, that sticks in, it looks like 21mm, or it could be, is that square? Yeah, 20 maybe, 20, 21. The point is, that sticks into the flywheel not as far and consequently disengages. This one sticks in too far. So really what this needs is a packing plate on it and then it'll work. So if when the new one comes, if it's exactly the same, I'll make a packing piece and pack it out, and then at least I know it'll work. Right, going to start to make up this 3mm spacer to go on. This isn't the correct starter motor, but to go on there on the replacement starter motor when it comes next week. So this is in preparation, because I'm sure they're going to send me exactly the same starter again. So I've just chopped that out of a piece of steel plate, and I'm now going to drill the hole in the centre, which I've measured it. I think it was a 92mm bore. Right, I've mounted that in the 4-jaw, so I'll now bore the hole in it. Just taking out it out as max as I can quickly with this, then I'll bore it. Right, that's out to 32mm, another 60mm to go. So we're at 80mm now, and it's 92 we need to go to. So this is the final cut to size, just a tad over 92.1. Right, I've slackened that off. I'll put a slight chamfer on it as well, just so it doesn't bind in the corner. And just try it on here. Oh, lovely, perfect fit. So I now just have to mark out the bolt holes. Okay, I've got it mounted upside down in the vise. Just put a clamp on it so it doesn't move, and just use a transfer punch to mark out the 3 holes, and then I can drill them. So I got this set up in here. I thought I'd just use that cone cutter with it being sheet. It's only a rough job. So I've drilled the 3 holes out now. Just got my guide pin in, which goes in each one of them. I won't take that back out, so I'll just draw around it and I can cut it out. Okay, all ready to cut out. Starting to cut it out. It's not quick, but it's quicker than using a hand hacksaw. I'll have to do a bit of filing just to dress it up and cut out these little notches. Right, that's it. Notched out and just filed round. Just finished off the edges with the Dremel and a file. So that should just go on that way. There we go. So that's a neat little fit. So we just wait for the starter motor to come in on Tuesday. Well, this is all going to plan. Not. I did a little video just to compare the newly received starter motor. I won't repeat what I said there because I'll be repeating myself again in a few minutes. And I fitted it, and I've now got a new noise. So I asked my pal to have a walk down for him to have a listen to it, and he said it sounds like Peppa Pig. So there's definitely something in there squeaking. It's not the same noise as before. It's definitely better than before, and it's definitely disengaging from the ring gear. So the spacer plate has definitely worked. But whilst the pinion is engaged, there is another pig noise, according to him, in there. So I think I've got an idea, or we're both looking at it, I've got an idea where it might be. But this starter motor's coming off for the 3rd time. Well, that's it out. Unfortunately, the noise isn't what I thought it was going to be. And what it appears to be is incorrect mesh of the pinion. As you can see on the crest of the tooth, there's quite significant wear there already, considering I've only started it 10 times maybe, and it looks like the pinion is bottoming out in the teeth of the ring gear. And since fitting this flywheel, not flywheel at all, what do you call it, starter motor, I now have some damage. Let me get my torch in. Just on the edge of the flywheel, just starting. You can see the. I don't know if you can see on this camera, but in the root of the teeth, there's definitely some sharp edges, and when you run your finger over that, you can feel it. So unfortunately, the pinion isn't meshing correctly. So I think I'm on the phone to him again tomorrow. This is a chew, isn't it? So after lots of discussion, talking through issues, etc., testing, I think we've worked out what the problem is. So, two starter motors together, 2.2 kilowatt, 3.1 kilowatt. When I measure the diameter, root diameter, etc., pitch on the teeth, they are not identical. However, we're talking 0.3 of a millimeter difference in height of the tooth. It shouldn't be running that close. And then that's really I thought, oh, so it could be this bearing here making the noise when it's under load, or it's dry in the end on this oil light bush or whatever it is. So I've had it in the vise, run it up, no noise whatsoever. And then after the discussion, it's quite apparent when you look at them. So this one has got a good land to locate into the block, the bell housing, whatever you want to call it, the back plate of the engine. This is the one that came off originally. So that locates. It's then got holes, the bolt holes, that the bolts are like you're turning the piss pot in there, but then it nips up because it locates, it gets its concentricity for the mesh between the pinion and the flywheel from that machine surface. That distance to the root and to the peak of the tooth is the same from that to that. But as you will see on this one, it's got a much smaller land. But the problem with this one is when you put it, when you fit it, the distance between that face and the pinion here is it's wrong. It's different to original. So what you have to do is then put a spacer on to make up for that difference. So you bolt it on with the spacer, and you stop the problem of when the pinion comes out of mesh, it then comes out of mesh properly, which it doesn't without the spacer. However, as you'll see, there is absolutely nothing left on the casting to get the motor concentric, and in the right position with the flywheel. So when I bolted it on, because these bolts are just slack as piss in all three of them, it has just been somewhere near. This is essentially upside down now. So this top stud, you locate it on that. The weight of the starter motor is going this way, opposite to what we've got here. It falls towards the ring gear essentially, and then I've nipped it up. So really, if you had good access, what you could do is just slacken off the bolts, move the whole starter motor with a bar slightly away from the flywheel, nip them up, try it, a bit of trial and error, and you would get it in a good mesh. I'll be on forever trying to do that, and it's not good because it could come out of mesh, it could move. So really what we need to do is pick up on this locating centre, but that's not that easy to do because there's no casting left. I've thought about putting pegs in around the plate to locate, but then come up with a different solution. So essentially junk the plate and make a bush that fits in here to the centre of here is then a wider diameter to give the 3mm gap that you need, and then just have a little protrusion on this end so that it locates into the backplate block, whatever, on the engine. So then what you'll have is two of those, this one and this one, would have those in. This one, because it's a stud, essentially you need to make a little donut ring to fit in there that fits over the stud and locates it centrally on that hole. So then hopefully we'd have concentricity. So that's my little drawing. Two of them and one of them. Let's see if that works. So this was the design. I've strayed from that a bit. What I decided to do was do independent bushes to pick up the OD on the housing and the ID in the backplate / engine block, and just using the existing plate as the spacer. So I'm going to fit that and just give it a go and see if that works. Fingers bloody crossed. Right, let's listen, see if it sounds like Peppa Pig. I bloody hope not. Oh, no. Bloody marvellous. It worked. 5th time lucky. Whoop! Just got to put it all back together now, which shouldn't take long. If anybody ever asks you to fit a high powered, high torque, whatever it's called, bloody 3.1 kilowatt starter motor to a Discovery, tell them to fuck off.